Good afternoon. My name is Simon Corbin. I work in the flight software division at CNES, which is the French space agency. And today my presentation will focus on Linux and why we want to use it for our onboard applications. So I will start with a quick presentation of Cosmos, which is the framework we use to develop our flight software. Then I'll talk about some use case to illustrate why we are interested in using Linux. And then I will also talk about challenges we face. And finally, I will present our current and future activities. So just a few words about Cosmos. So basically, Cosmos is a framework based on the TSP architecture, so time and space partitioning architectures to enable complex software. So basically we have an hypervisor, and on top of it we have a set of partitions. So the yellow ones are also known as basic software. So inside you will find iOS, which is basically the input-output server. So this is the partition we use to send basically telemetry to the ground and also to route the telecommands to the right partition. We have HCM, which is the hardware and software event manager. And finally, we have MMDL, which is used for mode management and data loading. So these are what we call the basic software, and then we have dev kits. So CCDK is for command control purpose, and the other one, AppDK, is basically an applicative dev kit, where the aim is to give basic functions to the user who want to just add its own applicative. So these components are qualified regarding the ECSS level B standards. So of course, these kind of architectures allow to have yes, both multi-providers, but also mixed criticality. So the hypervisor we use is called Xtratum. It's developed by Fentis, a Spanish company. And this solution has already been used in some missions, you can see here. So now I would like to present some use cases to illustrate why we are interested in using Linux. So the first one is Sesam. So Sesam basically is a solution based on AI. So traditionally when we want to monitor a parameter, we have most of the time a high threshold and a low threshold. And basically when the parameter goes higher or lower than the given threshold, we raise an error or we send a message basically. And thanks to Sesam, we are able to observe the evolution of the parameter inside the thresholds. And yes, thanks to models, we are able to predict the occurrence of an error. So this solution is coded in Python, relies on Python libraries, and is developed at CNES by colleagues. So these colleagues came to see us asking us to, okay, we want to embed these applications, but guess what, it's in Python. Is it possible or not? So I will give you the answer a bit later. This was the first use case. Another one is LoRa. So basically this is robotic assistance for lunar operations. And here, my colleagues working on these projects would like to use ROS, so Robot Operating Systems, for many reasons. This is widely used on Earth for robotic applications. And also it executes on top of Linux. And finally, another example. So now we have more and more swarms and constellations rather than only one satellite for one mission. So this brings new challenges, such as collision avoidance, for instance. So specifically for this point, we have one solution, which is Asteria, and Asteria is coded in Java. So these are three examples that shows that if we stay only with C solutions, it will be, let's say, hard to embed this kind of applications. So one solution, easy for me, could be to say to my colleagues, you just need to record your application in C. So I'm not sure they will be happy with this. Okay, we want to, maybe we can use Linux. But if we want to use Linux, there are new challenges. First of all, Linux in space is not that new, but most of developments are mission specifics. So there are also a lack of standards or guidelines regarding the use of Linux specifically for space applications. So this is a non-exhaustive list of the challenges we face. Of course, real-time constraints. There are several solutions, but we need to benchmark these solutions with regards to the one we are already using. Also regarding task isolations, what mechanisms can be used with Linux. There are also security aspects. And I would say one important point is also regarding system requirements. I mean, for Linux, should I start from the kernel level, or maybe should I start from, I don't know, Poki, for instance, when I use Yocto? So these are questions we have. And also there are questions regarding updates and everything around license and export control. So the thing is, we are not alone on this topic, and Space-Grade Linux AGL is a great initiative going in the good direction. So for now, we are more following than contributing, but I will tell you why. Basically, our activities are just at the beginning of the development, but once we have the first result, of course, we will be happy to share and contribute. So now I will present some of our ongoing activities. So if we go back to the Cosmos framework, the first step is to have a new development kit based on Linux. So we want to build a distribution using Yocto, and we will rely on the XNG BSP layer, so that we can use, thanks to hypercalls, we can use hypervisor functions from the user space. So we still don't really know which third-party layers we will use. Do we start just from the kernel, or do we start from Poki? Are there some interesting contributions from the AGL layer also? So these are things we are looking at. And also we need a Cosmos layer. So for two main reasons. The first one is that we want to integrate the PUS library. So PUS stands for Packet User Standard, and this is basically the standard we use to communicate between the ground and the spacecraft. And also we want to have Cosmos monitoring signals that are used for to communicate with other partitions inside the flight software. So also what we want is to have the same functional perimeter as the APPDK. So which means that we want the same functional scope and so the same test. The only difference is that we are not using the same OS. So now for most of our partitions, we are using LitOS, which is a real-time ECSS qualified real-time OS, also developed by Fentis. So this was the first step, having a partition based on Linux. And then once we have this development kit, we want to add new features. So basically what we target is to have an application catalog on board, and then to allow the user to choose between a set of applications. We want also to load new applications from ground. And also, we want to be able to delete applications when we don't need them anymore. So basically, we could say it's nothing less than a smartphone in orbit. When we look at the way we want to use these applications. When you have your smartphone, on it you will have applications that remain basically all the time. And also, maybe if you go to a new city for holidays, let's say, probably you will download an application for, I don't know, public transport, for instance, and then when you go back home, you will probably delete these applications. So this is the idea with this second step, having an application manager on top of the Linux dev kit partition developed in the frame of the first step. But of course, we don't want to reinvent the wheel, so we want to rely as much as possible on well-known mechanisms. So regarding containerizations and so on. And then there is a third step, which is basically what if we have full Linux-based flight software. So we have a PhD in progress on this topic, and the idea of this PhD is to address these 2 points. The first one is to explore multi-policy hierarchical scheduling, and the second one is to explore how isolation can be improved in Linux. So the idea is to have containers, and inside you will find some tasks with different policies. So you have real-time tasks, you have quality of service tasks, and also best effort tasks. So basically, that can execute once the CPU is available. So conclusion. So as you can see, Linux is a great enabler for many use cases. I would say for now, most of them are for non-critical because we have a lack of guarantee when using Linux. I didn't mention it, but the first use case, Sesame, will fly at the end of the year in the frame of a student project, which is Aerosat. So it's a project that is led by CNES and students. And we will use a Linux-based partition with Sesame in Python in it. So yes, for now, as I was saying before, there is a lack of common guidelines, even if things with SGL are going in the great direction, I would say. But just one last remark. I would say that there are not many European contributions, and having a coordination regarding targets, regarding standards at European level will be also a great idea. So as soon as we get results from our first experimentations, we will be happy to share and to contribute, and specifically in the frame of the HGL project. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you.